Who is Charles Darwin? Isn't he the guy who wrote about evolution? What is the descent of man? Let's play some Minecraft and find out. Charles Darwin is super well known in the science world for being one of the few English scientists whose ideas still largely hold up over 150 years. Darwin spent nearly 5 years of his young adulthood on a ship called the HMS Beagle. He and his buddies sailed across the coast of South America, New Zealand, Australia, and most famously the Galapagos Islands. Throughout this trip, Darwin collected and taxidermied a ton of animals, including his famous finches. He would mail them to England. When Darwin finally got home, his friend said, "Hey, these birds are all different." And Darwin said, "Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm going to go spend 20 years working on a book that is actually only going to take me 16 months to write." Which is exactly what he did. So, in 1859, Darwin publishes On the Origin of Species, which explains that all creatures evolved from a common ancestor through a process called natural selection. A bunch of people said, "Even humans?" "Yeah, right." So, 12 years later, Darwin published The Descent of Man, outlining how human evolution coincides with his previous theories of evolution. But what is the descent of man? Everybody's always talking about the origin of species, and for good reason, because a lot of that work was the foundation for his later theories, and a lot of it is still accepted today. And The Descent of Man backs it up, exploring why Charles Darwin does not believe that a bunch of players just spawned on Earth and started building. Human evolution, and most species of evolution, has two primary mechanisms: natural selection and sexual selection. Natural selection is a selection of certain kids based on nature, or the natural environment. For example, Minecraft has recently added cold and hot pigs. It used to be that all pigs looked identical. However, pigs have started spawning into cold environments with fur on them, and now you can no longer find a standard pig in a cold biome. Darwin states that these pigs started out like regular pigs, however some of the offspring had thicker fur than others. The pigs with the thicker fur survived for longer, which made for more chances of their thick hair being passed down. This process would happen for generations and generations, until eventually the entire population is covered in thick enough fur to fully protect from freezing to death. This applies to humans too. Darwin states that man increases at a greater rate than what he needs to survive. This creates a struggle for existence. If there are more villagers than beds, then some villagers won't be able to hide in their beds at night and will likely be forced to stand outside and get. So there are a ton of different environmental needs and factors that lead to different variations in evolution. Wouldn't that make our world species lineup relatively limited? No, because, like I mentioned earlier, there are more parts to evolution than just natural selection. Sexual selection is just as important in the animal kingdom. This is the selection of partners based on traits. When females all tend to prefer males with specific traits, then over time, the majority of population will have developed to showcase those traits. If the jellycat has the choice between a calico cat and another cat, and she prefers cats with gray fur, then the calico cat is going to have a difficult time breeding, and soon the village is going to be overrun with jellies. This type of selection can vary a lot. Sometimes the female will pick male with preferred traits, or the males have to fight each other, and whoever is most adapted to win that fight is able to mate with the female, passing down those natural weapons. How come some animals look the same no matter what sex they are, but some females and males look super different? Darwin states that there are laws of inheritance that determine the variation of traits and which sexes receive which characteristics. Variability is basically the visible manifestation of genetics, but before genetics were discovered. Darwin couldn't get it all. So, how are humans different? To be honest, we aren't. Humans evolved from other mammals just like gorillas have. Darwin believed that the thing that makes us different, why humans can build and mine and craft where other mobs can't, is because of intellect. Many other animals have advanced smarts, but humans have language and higher degrees of intelligence. Our intelligence also makes us social animals who form morals and social orders. We can do something bad and then reflect upon our actions and try and make it up to receive praise from the people around us. Also, most animals don't believe in God. So, in summary, humans and all other animals developed from a common ancestor. This development stems from both naturalistic and sexual selections. As humans evolved, they also developed the ability to talk and grow our minds. Darwin used his evolved mind to form and write out all of these theories. He also used his mind to state that poor people should not get married, as poverty is a great evil that leads to sicknesses. Bye!